Hi, happy Wednesday to everybody. It's Beth Lee and Dan IT Guy.
Welcome.
Welcome to Relationship Talk. And today should be a good show. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
I think it's going to be fun.
It'll be good.
Yes, should be a good time. So we just wanted to say hello to everybody who's here, everybody who's going to be watching later. We know a lot of you catch us later, which is a good thing. You know, you can always email us. You can always chat with us later on. Always a good time. You can always like, subscribe, and comment on our channel. We always appreciate that. And you can email us, author.bethlee@gmail.com. And Colleen Tebow, I know you had a question for me on last night's live with our Burr.
Mm-hmm.
And feel free to email me and I will answer your questions. So if you're watching later, please email me and I will answer your question that you had last night. So anyways, last week we talked about faith, submission versus pride. And I know it's kind of like a controversial type subject.
It is.
A lot of people don't like the word submission or submit. And we really consider the word submit to be honor or respect.
Yes.
So I submit to Dan by honoring him, by respecting him. And he does the same for me. You know, it's giving up your pride, giving up your selfishness and your ego, giving those things up for your marriage, for your partner. And so we honor and respect one another.
Yes.
It's a big part of our marriage. Huge part.
It's very important.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes. And the question that we were asking a lot last week was, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy and married? And some people don't think happy and married can be in the same sentence.
Well, you know.
But it can. It really can. So do you want to be right or do you want to be married? So you have to really think about that. And so the discussion points last week were, think about your behavior and your mindset. You know, we wanted you to take some time by yourself. We both did that too. And take some time by yourself and really ask yourself, am I the issue in the marriage? Is my selfishness coming between me and my spouse? Is my pride more important than my spouse's feelings? And, you know, when you really look at yourself honestly and answer those questions honestly, then you can really start to improve your marriage and, you know, and improve hurt, you know, fix those hurt feelings, improve communication.
Work your way back.
Yes.
You know, it might take a while. Sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah.
But if you believe in each other, there's nothing that you can't do.
Yep.
If you trust each other, there's nothing you can't do.
Yes. And holding on to your pride, it really kills the relationship. Pride is really a relationship killer. And, you know, just being able to let go of that for your spouse, that shows your spouse that you care about the relationship, that you're in this all the way. So we try to encourage other couples, let go of that pride. When you let go of the pride, you're able to recognize your own faults. Yeah. You're able to take accountability for your actions in the marriage. And Dan and I have both been able to do that. It was hard. You know, it's been hard at different times.
It certainly is.
You know, and looking at yourself and realizing my selfishness is getting in the way of our happiness.
Yeah.
Me trying to always make myself happy is not working for our relationship. And eventually it's going to kill the relationship. And then we're not going to be happy anymore.
Yep.
So, you know, do you want to be the only person happy in your relationship? You're not going to have a happy relationship. So that's kind of what last week was about.
What's up, brother?
Hi, Destroyer. How are you doing?
Thank you for stopping by, sir.
We appreciate it. Speaking of appreciating, this week we're talking about appreciating your spouse. And later on in the show, we're going to be talking about, you say it better, about kids. But right now we're going to talk about appreciating your spouse. So,
appreciating your spouse. Kids.
So I think everybody knows from last week, my book came out. last week we made the announcement that the book was coming out, and this past Monday it was finally available on Amazon. Yay! I'm so freaking excited. So you can go ahead and
I'll see
look
if I can
for,
drop a link for you.
that would be awesome. Thank you. And so you can go out on Amazon and you can look for the book Making Marriage Last by Beth Lee, and hopefully that #1 sellers list. I hope so. I really do. I really, really hope that it is on the #1 bestsellers list. That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome. I could see it.
Honestly, if it helps one couple, that would make me happy.
Yes.
So that would be like the icing on the cake for me, I think. If it just helps one couple, that's all we're really hoping for. It's already helped us, so I guess it's a success.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's all kinds of sections in the book. So once you receive the book, once you purchase it and receive it, you'll see that there's chapters in the book. There's 13 chapters in the book, lucky number 13. And each chapter has subsections in it. So one of the subsections is appreciation of your spouse. So we're going to read a little bit from this book and, just see how you like it. I think you'll like it. It's a good section.
Yes.
So Dan gets to read the first part of it, but.
Okay.
Hint, hint.
Appreciation of your spouse.
Yes.
I
I don't know what we're doing here. Oh.
Imagine this scenario. You wake up early, you get ready for work. You begin your long commute to the office. Traffic's backed up on the freeway. You try to maintain a positive attitude while listening to the radio as your car crawls along the highway. You finally arrive at work 10 minutes late. Try to avoid running into your boss, of course.
Mm-hmm.
While working, your boss inundates you with phone calls and extra projects. You attend your two morning meetings, realizing you missed the deadline for one of your projects, and your boss is not happy with you. You miss lunch because you're swamped and trying to catch up. In the afternoon, you step outside to get a breath of fresh air, You decide to call your favorite resort and book a couple nights for the next month for a short getaway with your wife. You feel that you both need a quick vacation to recenter. The excitement of planning a surprise little trip helps you to get through the rest of the afternoon. You have to stay a little late at work because one of your coworkers needs assistance with a spreadsheet. On your way home, you rush through traffic. Your wife texts you how she needs you to pick up some items at the store. When you stop, you see a lovely display of flowers. No, I lost my roses. Okay. Your wife's favorite daisies. You buy them. Just because.
That's always sweet.
You walk in the door expecting a hug and a kiss because of your efforts. Instead, you're greeted at the door by your wife telling you she expected you home a half hour ago and that the guests are going to be walking in at any moment. You hand her the flowers and begin telling her about the getaway, and she says, "Yeah, I think we can do that. We'll see. I don't remember adding flowers to the grocery list."
I'm such a craphead sometimes.
I'm sure our guests will like them, though. You need to get ready for tonight. I have a million things left to do, and the kids are driving me crazy. You walk away disappointed and sad that she did not acknowledge any of your efforts. You feel taken for granted. You lock up your feelings because guests are on the way, and now is not the time to discuss it.
Hearing you read it makes me sad. Oh my gosh. I wrote it. It makes me sad hearing you read it. So here's the other side of that scenario. You wake up early to take the kids to school. None of them are ready to go. And you have to cajole them into the car.
Yeah.
On the way, the 7-year-old spills his juice all over his clothes. The 10-year-old and 12-year-old are arguing because the 10-year-old is wearing the 12-year-old's sweater without permission. The conversation goes from bickering to yelling. You pull over in a parking lot, telling the girls to stop screaming while you are driving, trying to get them both to calm down, and frantically locate napkins under the seat to dry off the 7-year-old. You arrive at the kids' school a few minutes late and need to walk them inside to sign them in. You take a quick glance in the rearview mirror and realize you still have makeup on the left eye, but not the right. Your hair's a mess, and you left the house with no bra on. Oh well. You head inside to sign them in while the 12-year-old walks behind you telling you she is embarrassed by the way you look. You consider many words you would like to say at the moment, but think it is best to remain quiet. That happens a lot with kids. I think it's just best I remain quiet at this point. You drive back.
Take some deep breaths.
Yes. Like 100 deep breaths. That would be good. You drive back home, forgetting that you needed to stop at the store to pick up several items. Once home, you begin laundry and cleaning. The dog gets sick on the carpet, and you notice one of the girls spilled nail polish on their bedroom floor. Now you must add cleaning the carpets to your list of things to do. The time to pick up the kids arrives way too quickly, so you drive over to get them. The 7-year-old is crying because he had to stay inside during recess because he told a classmate that he did not like her glasses. The 10-year-old and 12-year-old, who walked out of school laughing, begin arguing over who gets to sit in the front seat on the way home. You resolve the argument by saying, no one is sitting up front today. They both pout and bicker with each other about whose fault it is all the way home. Once again, you forget to pick up the items at the store. You usher the kids into the house and get them started on homework and chores. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Always fun. You hear the daily complaints of, why do we have to do chores? Why does she have an easier job than I do? I promise I'll do it later if I can ride my bike right now. This homework is too hard. I'm not doing it. You walk outside in the backyard, hoping the kids cannot see you, pretending that you are locked outside until the end of time. You go back inside and begin getting ready for your guests for the evening, when you remember that you needed a few items at the store. Just at that moment, your husband texts you that he is on his way home. You are irritated that he has left work late when guests are coming over. You text him back asking him to stop at the store for you. He seems overly pleasant, which also annoys you. You think to yourself, yeah, I'd probably be more pleasant too if I'd been at the office all day instead of listening to these 3 kids bickering and whining. And now he is going to be late and walk in just before the guests arrive. I have to do all this prep work by myself, plus get myself ready and get the kids ready. Nice. By the time your husband gets home, you are exasperated with the kids, frustrated by all the work you had to do by yourself, and he walks in with flowers and that big grin on his face. He starts talking about some trip he wants to take, but you can't focus on that right now because you must finish getting dinner ready. You brush him off by telling him you'll talk to him later about it. You see his face fall and the look of disappointment. You feel horrible about your tone of voice, but the guests are arriving soon. He walks away and you go back to your dinner prep. So this was an actual scenario.
Yeah.
That we lived through. Actual scenario.
That actually happened. 100%.
We were having some kind of a birthday party or something for somebody in our family.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had this big dinner to prepare, lots of things to get organized. The kids were just on my last nerve that day. I can't even explain to you. It was just, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think instead of spilling juice that day on his clothes, I think he went into school. And as I was walking out to my car, his teacher called me back in because our youngest was taking a pair of scissors and cutting holes in his pants.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
I don't know why. Yeah. Trying to make him into shorts or something? I don't know. I have no idea. Who knows?
Yeah, he went to a Catholic school, and these are like, they're uniform pants. They're not cheap.
Like $25 pants that he's cutting holes into. And so I go back in and I'm like, okay, great. This is twice now that the school secretary has seen me with no bra, and that's awesome. And now most of the school is out doing different things out in the hallways and everything. And I've got to walk into his classroom with 25 kids in there and bring him a new pair of pants. Lovely. Yeah. So Dan and I actually sat down later that night after the birthday party was done. And after the kids went to bed, I think we like pushed them into their room and shut the door really quick and said, go to sleep. We don't like, I think we're done talking for the day. And we went outside and talked and, you know, after hearing how his day was and him hearing how my day was, we were able to understand all of the efforts that the other was going through and everything that we were doing for the family, you know, and for each other really. Yeah. And we were able to appreciate it. And so instead of it turning into a fight where we were saying, well, you didn't do this or, you know, whatever, or my feelings, we were able to listen to one another and really appreciate one another for what we were doing. And I mean, it turned out to be a great night, but that day was pretty bad. That was like one of those up there on that scale of one of the worst days. I mean, it was
up there.
Yeah. So just trying to appreciate one another and seeing the effort that the other person is making, it makes a huge difference in the relationship. It makes you want to stay there. You know, it makes you want to keep doing things for the marriage because you're being noticed, you're being appreciated.
Absolutely.
Your efforts are being seen, you know. And I know that we try to say thank you to each other all the time. And that was something that didn't start, you know, right away. Yeah. It took a little bit of time, you know, and a little bit of time for us to get to that point where we're saying thank you for everything. And so now we've just made it a regular practice that, you know, oh, thank you for getting my drink, or thank you for feeding the dogs,
thank you for doing the laundry. Thank you for cleaning the house, you know. Thank you for cooking dinner. Thank you for, I mean, it just,
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for not leaving me.
Sorry about my tone of voice. Thank you for not leaving. Sometimes, you know, and like sometimes you have to start small. You know, if you're not used to saying thank you and appreciating your spouse, start small. You know, you pay attention to what your spouse is doing and say thank you. It's very simple to do, but it shows that you're paying attention to what your spouse is doing.
It makes you feel appreciated as well.
Yeah, it makes you feel seen. Yeah. You know, it makes it worthwhile. You know, so because we all do hard work. We all do hard work for our families, and nobody's job is more important than the other. You know, and you know, Dan used to. We tend to, like, when we give cards to one another, when we give greeting cards to one another, we tend to write letters in those greeting cards. I don't know why we don't just buy blank cards. We should just do that. Yeah. But we end up saying all these things that we appreciate about one another, and you know, a lot of times it's like the same kind of things, but you know, Dan's always saying about, you know, oh, you do so much for the family. Well, you do too. You know, you do a whole lot for this family, and everything that you do is much appreciated, very much appreciated. We wouldn't have a house without you.
Everything you do is much appreciated. You know? We wouldn't have a house. We wouldn't have decorations. We wouldn't have. I mean, it would be a cardboard box, pretty much.
It would just be the garage.
Yeah. I'd be out in the garage. The house would there'd be no furniture, no TV, no nothing, and there'd just be the garage.
I think if Dan had his way, I think we'd be living in like a 900 square foot house, and we'd have like a 2,500 square foot garage. I think if
add
Dan
another
had
zero and you're cutting close.
25,000 square foot garage. That's his dream. What is Eric saying here? Maybe a little thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the appreciation when I'm appreciated.
There you go. See?
See, that's exactly it. See, now you're catching on.
Sometimes you just have to appreciate being appreciated when you get appreciated.
And then you feel appreciated.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh. You and your brother share a brain, I swear to God. Anyways, so.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. It really incorporates kindness and love, you know.
You,
thank you. All right, now on to kids. Kids. We love kids.
No, we love kids. Yeah.
We love them. You know, some of us waited a long, long time to have kids. And maybe it was really difficult for you to have your child. Maybe it was super easy and you didn't even realize that, oops, That just happened.
What do we do now?
I guess we're having kids. So no matter how it happened for you, we love the kids that are in our lives. We appreciate them. They add a lot of joy and humor to our lives.
Yeah.
They can also add stress to your life and a lot of cost, not just like monetary, but emotional cost too. Yes. GD kids. Yes.
I like it.
And, we're trying to raise these kids to be kind and resourceful and successful and productive members of society, good people, the type of people that you would want to be friends with later on in life. And sometimes that doesn't happen, but sometimes it does.
Yeah.
We give everything for our kids. We give them any kind of thing that they need, the bed to sleep on, their clothes, food, whatever. We give them all kinds of things. And it feels sometimes like you don't get a whole lot back, but you do get that love sometimes. And that's awesome. Those moments are good.
Yes.
Those cuddle moments
That
where,
makes it all worth it.
Yeah. The cuddle moments, those special times with the kids, where, your heart is just beaming, those, the graduations from high school, when you're seeing your child walk across that stage and get that diploma.
Sense of pride there.
Yeah. You can't beat it. That's seeing your son, your youngest, seeing your youngest walking into the Navy, what is it? I don't even know. The Navy hangar, having the hangar door open and seeing your son walk into that Navy hangar and become a sailor.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty special.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
We usually get talk back. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a lot of that too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Usually, we got a lot of that too. And now we have an empty nest and it's fantastic and I love it. It's the best thing ever.
Yes.
It's very quiet around the house sometimes, but hey, we really like that a lot. We worry about our kids. I think all of the gray hairs that I have on my head came from all the kids.
Yeah.
Especially when I was homeschooling our youngest. I think that's where all of them came from.
Right.
And then Dan's beard used to be dark brown. And then the kids moved in with us.
That's what happened.
That's what happens right there. So if you don't have kids yet, that is what happens. Yeah, right there. It turns your beard gray.
Yes.
Which is funny because he doesn't have a gray hair on his head, but he's got it all on his beard. I have all these gray hairs in my head. So that's what happens. You worry so much about your kids and you worry about, like, it starts when they're young, are they hitting each milestone when they're supposed to? Are they going to the right school? Are they meeting friends? Are they hanging around the right type of people?
Are they meeting the right friends?
Yes, the right type of people. Once they start dating, is this person good for our son or daughter?
Yeah.
Is this is this going to be a long lasting thing? Is this person going to fit into our family? Is this, once they're driving, are they going to be safe out on the road? You're worried constantly about these kids. Are they ever going to come home? At 2:30 in the morning. Are they going to come home yet? Like, are they safe? Yeah. And then they move out on their own and you still worry because, you're worried about, like, are they able to make money to provide for themselves? I hope so, because I don't want to pay for them anymore. But
yeah,
you still worry about them. Even our youngest, we still worry about him, being out on a boat and, is he okay? And is he doing well? And, so you worry about them. And, when they're young, you spend a lot of time running after those toddlers, and then they start getting older and you start running them to and from school events and, play dates with their friends and all this stuff. And then then it gets to be high school years, and then you start pacing the floors, waiting for them to come home at night. So think about how,
You agonize over phone calls when you're at certain times of day, because okay, the kids are on the road. What do we? Oh God, I got to call come in. Manny,
oh no.
Yeah.
she only texts. The only time she calls is when she's had an accident. Oh God. So, we
love you.
we do. We love the kids. We love all three of them. Think about how much you love your kids. Think about how much they've added to your lives and how much fun they've provided in your home. I know
comic relief.
I know we've had a lot of fun times with the kids. We've had, like when Mike was 3, I remember being in the backyard with him and hearing a woodpecker in the tree and saying, "Hey, Mike, did you hear that? Do you hear that? It's a woodpecker." And Mike looked at me, 3 years old, and said, "What's that pecker doing?" And I was like, "Oh, no, it's a woodpecker. It's a woodpecker." We were, Dan was...
I remember I was in the backyard. We had a little fire pit, and we had put
had those tiles in it.
Yeah.
You were putting those tiles in, right?
Yeah, and I was trying to get, because it's one of those where you kind of have to kind of stretch it a little bit to get the tile to pop in there. So I was like kind of bending on it and stretching it and putting the tiles in. And he's like, I was banging it with my hand. He's like, "What you doing, hammering it?"
We still say that all the time. "What are you doing, hammering it?"
We caught that on video. So it wasn't as funny the first time as it was the second time. When we saw it on the video, we were like, "Oh my God." Yeah. We
went for years, like when you have girls, especially girls, and they get to be 12, 13 years old, they start developing this little thing in their throat. Yes, I bless you. They start developing this little problem in their throat where the only sound that comes out is that sound. I call it the cat sound. I actually asked the girls, "Are you turning into cats?" Because I think you got to have a fur ball cut there. They didn't like that.
No.
Of course, but you get those cat sounds, and usually a quick like tap on the back will help that. But
dumbasses.
Little tap on the back, or just asking them, give them a glass of water. Here, get that fur ball out, because it's kind of annoying to hear.
You know what I think it really is?
What?
They are
dumbasses.
Yes. What is it?
Dumbasses.
Yes. Okay, I lost my place. Sorry. Now I'm a dumbass.
Teenagers are assholes, no question about it.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, once those hormones start flowing, it's over.
I remember going outside crying one night. I started crying because the kids were just talking back to the point where it was pretty hurtful.
Yeah.
And I remember going outside and I started crying, and Dan took me by the hand and he's like, "You do realize that all kids are assholes, right?" And I'm like,
she's like, "Why would she say that to me?" I'm like, "Honey, teenagers are assholes. It's just what it is."
So if yours is not an asshole,
God bless you.
Yet, keep watching, because they probably will become one at some point.
Yes.
Maybe not even around you. Maybe just out in public somewhere around somebody else. But they do become assholes. I don't know that there's a cure for that.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
But of course, you never tell the kids that.
No.
You keep that between you and your spouse. That's something that you talk about with your us time, your talk
later.
time. Yeah. And you tell them, when you were a kid, you were a real jerk.
Yeah.
We remember we decided Dan's parents had just moved to Arizona, and we decided we were going to go on a little trip. So we called his parents and said, hey, would you mind watching the kids for the weekend for us? And they're like, oh yeah, we want to watch the kids, grandpa time. That'd be awesome. And I'm like, oh, that's good. So we're packing our little overnight bag, and I hear Michael running down the stairs to get away from the screaming that was going down at the end of the hallway. So I go down the hallway, and I'm like, what is going on down here? I've got one of the girls screaming. I've got the other one crying. And I'm like, what is going on? Aunt Flo is here, and I can't take her. And the other one is saying, Aunt Flo's coming for me next week, and I can't. And I just backed out of the room. I'm just going to back out slowly. I closed the door and told him, I told him, if you're going to kill one another, could you please go outside? Because I don't want to clean that up here.
We have white carpet.
Go outside and kill one another out there, please. I just really don't want to clean up the mess in here. So I go into the bedroom with Dan, and I walked over and put my arms around him and gave him a little hug. And I said, honey, Aunt Flo is here for one of the girls, and Aunt Flo is coming for the next one next week. Should we tell your parents and warn them? And Dan kissed me ever so gently on the mouth and said, hell no. Grab the bags. Let's go. Let's get out of the house right now. We're not even going to say goodbye to the kids. We're just going to leave. Sorry, Mom. So I think we got back and your mom was like, don't ever do that to me again. There's a reason I only had boys. Don't ever do that to me again. So we had to warn her the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to kind of plan it out, based on certain issues. But we wanted to talk a little bit about Gen X parenting versus parenting of today. I remember the way my parents parented me and how your parents parented you. Yeah. Quite different than today's parenting. I think my dad's favorite saying whenever I was upset about something was, get over it. Get over it. Dad, I'm feeling sad about this. Get over it.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm really quite mad about this. Get over it. I mean, I think that was his go-to.
For everything.
Yeah. That, and if you don't stop it, I'm going to pound you into a fine powder.
Yeah.
I think that was his other saying. And my mom just used a broom.
Yeah.
She didn't sweep the floors with it.
My mom used to love to use the little wooden stir sticks.
My mom did too.
And one day I decided to be a smart Alec. I went in the drawer where all those sticks were. I broke every single one of them.
We just hide them under the couch.
Not me.
And then my mom would move the couch and find all of them. Beat
my ass with it. So here's what we're gonna do.
My mom just hid them under the couch. We moved the couch, and then she'd see like 10 of these. Those you could go to the paint store at the time, the hardware store, and you could get these wooden. They were like, I don't know, a foot long, and you could get these wooden stir sticks to stir the paint.
Yeah.
And my mom would go in there specifically to grab like a handful of them and bring them home so she could whip us with them. Those hurt really bad on a bare leg. I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hurt really bad. Yeah, that's Gen X parenting versus parenting of today. Today, you have to talk to your kid. Like, 2-year-olds don't understand reasoning. They don't have that ability yet. They don't understand how to like be reasoned with.
They understand two things. Hey, really? That's it. Which one you have just depends on the moment.
But a 2-year-old, you can pick the child up and you can move it and set it down somewhere else. A 13-year-old, you can't do that, well, unless...
It's just not as easy.
No, it's not as easy.
Although when you throw them on your shoulder and carry them upstairs, not so hard.
Oh, that would be hard for me, but not hard for you. Firemen carry up the stairs, yeah.
It's one of those when you're, what do you say? Perturbed. You tend to have another gear.
No, I remember going to Michael's with Michael and the girls. And we're standing in line, or we had walked through the store. We were trying to get these art supplies for some project the girls had. And so we're walking through and throwing crap in the basket, and Mike sees this modeling clay. $6 for modeling clay. You can get, what is that stuff that they used to have, like the smelly Play-Doh.
Play-Doh, yeah.
My mind is going, I'm 50, sorry.
50.
I'm 50. So you can get Play-Doh for like 50 cents. So I'm not spending $6 on a bunch of crap that's going to be stuck in my carpet next week. I'm not doing that. Sorry. So I told him, no, we'll get Play-Doh some other time. I want this. He threw the biggest tantrum I've ever seen the kid throw in the middle of Michael's. And so I move him over to the cart in front of me, and I've got my hands over his hands, and we're standing in line. So the kid decides to start kicking me. Not a good idea. So I move my legs closer to his so that he doesn't have as much room. So then he starts pounding on my hand, punching my hand with his hand. So I look over at the oldest and I said, sweetie, do you please take your brother out to the car? Really appreciate it. Thanks. Really appreciate it. That'd be awesome. So I pay for all the items. I've got a lady behind me going, I don't know how you put up with that. And I said, okay. So I get out there to the car and I said to him, you ever do that again, you won't go shopping with us again. I'm not dealing with that in the store again. So we get him home and I put him in timeout because I said, I cannot talk to you right now. I don't like timeout, but I understand sometimes you just need the kid to sit there for a few minutes and not talk.
Dumbasses.
So he sat in timeout, and he every 1 minute he's supposed to sit there for 7 minutes because it's a minute for every year the kid's been alive. He's supposed to sit there for 7 minutes. Every minute on the dot, he's like, "Can I get out of timeout?" No, and now it starts over again. I swear he sat in timeout for a half an hour because he kept starting it over again. So finally, I bring him over to me and I said, "Do you understand why you had to sit in timeout?" No. Do you remember arguing with me at the store? Yes, but I wanted the Play-Doh. I wanted the clay. No, you have toys up in your room. I'm not getting. I mean, it was just this whole thing. It was. He almost tried to burn. He tried burning our house down like 3 times.
Yep.
Warming up the French fries in the microwave.
French fries in the microwave, and it was warmed up all right.
In the McDonald's box.
I think he had it in there for 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah. I took it out of there. It was smoldering when I took it out. By the time I got to the garage, it was on fire in my hand. Good days.
So I have to look at Mike and say, get in timeout. Oh, my God. I don't want to go to jail for beating you. So please go sit in timeout because I can't talk to you right now. Oh, my God. You almost set our house on fire. Well, I didn't mean to. Oh, okay. Well, that makes it all better. As long as you didn't mean to, that's good.
We'll just tell the insurance company that.
Well, he didn't mean to.
He didn't mean to.
So it's good. No, and then he
can't blame him. He didn't mean to.
He comes home for, wasn't it the weekend he came home after boot camp? Yeah, he comes home after boot camp. We're so happy to see him, so he can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Except for when he took the go-kart in my backyard that looks like a park and tore up all the grass. And then comes back in and he goes, did I do that? Yes. Do you have money for grass seed, dude? Because you just tore up my backyard. What are you doing? You're just being a
dumbasses.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're being a dumbass. Come on. Yeah. So anyways, kids, we love them. But focus on your spouse. Like when your kids are acting like that, take those times. You'll laugh about it later because we do.
Yeah.
You'll laugh about it later. They cause a lot of stress while you have them. And for those of you who don't have kids yet, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is scary. I don't know if I want these kids. You do. You do eventually. The kids are awesome. We had a lot of fun times.
We did.
We actually, music is a really big part of our life. And so I picked out songs for each one of the kids. So our oldest, her song was You'll Be in My Heart by Phil Collins. And so every time I hear the song, I get a little weepy. Our middle one, she had a couple of different songs. What was it? I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack and Smile by Nat King Cole. And then, of course, No Woman, No Cry by Bob Marley.
No woman, no guy.
Those are the words she would use. No woman, no guy. Sitting in the backseat of the car, singing that as loud as she could. So now that we always have to sing it that way.
So damn cute.
And then Mike's was You Are the Sunshine of My Life by Stevie Wonder for a long time. And then he joined the Navy, and we were listening to music one night, and we heard Simple Man again by Leonard Skinner. And I'm like, the words are just perfect. So now that's my song for Mike. So I told him, I don't care where you get married or how you do it, but I'm dancing to that song with you when you get married. I don't care how it happens. That's happening.
Yes.
So I mean, we have a lot of different stories about the kids, and I'm sure you all do too. Sit down with each other and talk about those stories. Include the kids, make it a family fun night, and just laugh with each other. That's part of your homework for this week, by the way. Talk about those funny things that happen with your kids and include the kids, or just sit in bed at night and talk about that with your spouse. I mean, Dan and I would do that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
When the kids were growing up, and part of it was to just vent it out. And the way that we always vent problems out is we eventually start laughing about it, usually while we're venting about it. So it always became a joke with us, oh my God, you got to hear what this person said today, and you got to hear this story. Oh my gosh. So, that like just venting it out is a good therapy, The other part of the homework that you have for this week is every day, try to notice something that your spouse is doing to contribute to the household, or just something that your spouse is doing for you, or something that your spouse is doing that's just really nice for whoever, and say thank you.
Yes.
Or try to appreciate your spouse every day this week. And then at the end of the week,
make her get you a beer and then say thank you.
Make me a sandwich.
Make me a sandwich. I need me a pie. No.
Yes, you
What?
can do that. You could tell me to make you a sandwich. I don't know that it'll happen.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you'd want to eat it, but
I'll make you a sandwich. You might want to check it first.
Yeah.
No, just try to appreciate one another every single day this week. And then
and
then at the end of the week, sit down with your spouse and just talk about how that made you feel to be appreciated every single day. And try and get in the habit of doing that. If you do something often enough, it becomes a habit. So get those thoughts out of your head.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways.
Family fun night.
Anyways, so we want you to know that we appreciate you. We appreciate all of your support.
We appreciate Destroyer's Last Laugh.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Every Tuesday night. We'll see. Or maybe Thursday night.
We'll see what Destroyer decides to do on that.
If you guys keep an eye out, we have a game night.
Yes. And those are really fun.
They're just kind of a random pop-up thing. Friday night or Saturday night. Sometimes we get a little crazy, and it's a heck of a lot of fun.
Yes.
Come see it.
But we want you to know that, the reason that I wrote the book is for you.
Yes.
It's all for you. And the reason we're doing this live is for you.
We're sharing our experiences, hoping that maybe you hear something that you can use at some point and help your marriage or help your relationship with your whatever, your mom, your dad, your kids, whatever.
Because, I was talking to Dan about this, that not every section of the book may apply to you, but there might be 3 or 4 sections that really speak to you and speak to your heart, and maybe 2 other sections that speak to your spouse. And so, you and your spouse may get something different out of different sections of the book. So, and that was our goal, that, just to be able to minister, to share our experiences, and to have you help us, really, because doing this live, it really helps our marriage, because we're able to talk about these things before coming on here with all of you. And
it kind of forces us to go through, different steps that we should be going through all the time anyway.
Yeah. And keep practicing it.
Yeah.
So we wanted you to know that
reminding yourself,
Yes. And we wanted you to know that we really do appreciate you. We appreciate
each and every one of you.
Every bit of support that you've given us. Any of you that are ordering the book, that are coming here and chatting with us, that are watching it later, we appreciate you and we love you so much. So with that, you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Where is it at here?
Thank you. We love you all.
Yes. And we will see you next week. Bye.